Hey y'all, it's John Shen from Bounding Into Comics, and I've got a rumor for you concerning Amber Heard's fate as Mera in the Aquaman sequel. But before we get further into it, I'd like to ask if you could please hit the subscribe button. By subscribing, you help more people see our videos and help us to keep making these videos. We're aiming to get to 10,000 subscribers by the end of March. With your help, I definitely think we can do it. So thank you for subscribing in advance, and if you've already subscribed, thank you so much. So let's get into this. If you are unaware, Johnny Depp is suing his ex-wife Amber Heard for $50 million for defaming him in a Washington Post article published in 2008, right before the release of Aquaman. The article was titled, "Amber Heard, I spoke up against sexual violence and faced our culture's wrath that has to change." In the op-ed, Heard claims she's a public figure representing domestic abuse. Due to this op-ed, Depp and his lawyers claim his reputation and career were devastated after Heard accused him of domestic violence in 2016 that coincided with the release of Depp's film Alice Through the Looking Glass. They also point to him being dropped by Disney as the face of the Pirates of the Caribbean franchise, where he played Captain Jack Sparrow. Depp was released 4 days after Heard's op-ed was published. Not only does the lawsuit claim Heard defamed him, but it also claims she was the one who abused Depp. The lawsuit claims, quote, "Ms. Heard knew that the truth was that she violently abused Mr. Depp, just as she violently abused her prior domestic partner, which led to her arrest and booking for domestic violence, as well as a night in jail and a mugshot." Following the lawsuit, Heard and Depp's representatives have made the case quite public, with both sides claiming the other is a domestic abuser. The lawsuit would also spawn a fan petition demanding Heard be fired from Aquaman 2. It didn't gain much steam until recently. And that's when the Daily Mail released 2 leaked audio tapes of conversations between Depp and Heard from 2015. The first audio tape saw Heard admit to physically hitting Depp. On the tape, Heard says, quote, "I can't promise you that I'll be perfect. I can't promise you that I won't get physical again. God, I effing sometimes get so mad I lose it." She also goes on to admit to throwing pots and pans at him. Following this first tape, the fan petition would gain steam with over 100,000 people signing it. Shortly after the first tape was leaked, a second tape would be leaked with Depp accusing Heard of chopping off his finger and throwing a mineral can at him. In response to these accusations, Heard would say, quote, "You can please tell people that it was a fair fight and see what the jury and judge thinks. Tell the world, Johnny. Tell them, Johnny Depp. I, Johnny Depp, a man. I'm a victim, too, of domestic violence." She would add, quote, "And it's a fair fight, and see how many people believe or side with you," end quote. Following the release of this second tape, the petition would triple in its number of signees, with over 300,000 people signing it. That petition is currently just shy of 375,000 signatures. By the time you're watching this video, it might even be more than that. However, despite the petition, it appears Warner Brothers has no intention of replacing Heard as Mera in Aquaman 2, according to this anonymous source that spoke to Screen Geek. So the source told Screen Geek, quote, "Warner Brothers doesn't care about the allegations made about Amber Heard, nor do they have interest in social media. As such, there's nothing going on with her role on Aquaman 2, and they wouldn't consider firing her." The source also says her contracts with L'Oreal will not be dropped either. These petitions to get her dropped from L'Oreal are also highly unlikely to go anywhere with the company. L'Oreal runs Amber Heard's social media pages and are very fond of her. This is an interesting little tidbit, if true, because Heard did recently disable her Instagram comments. No reason has been given as to why she disabled them, but it's likely because people are taking her up on that second leaked audio and are siding with Johnny Depp. So if L'Oreal is running her Instagram, they would see that people might not be too happy with her following those leaked tapes. So I just kind of find that really interesting, that they're running her Instagram accounts, and they decided to disable the Instagram accounts, but they don't. But we're having this anonymous source saying what did they say here? The petitions to get her dropped from L'Oreal are also highly unlikely to go anywhere with the company. L'Oreal runs Amber Heard's social media pages and are very fond of her, but they are disabling Instagram accounts Instagram comments that are critical of her. I would assume that they're critical of her. The Screen Geek source wasn't finished. They added, quote, "In fact, there's much more to these allegations than what's been revealed so far. This is why Amber Heard hasn't settled with Johnny Depp. While the audio recordings with Amber Heard don't look good, Amber still has incredibly damaging evidence against Johnny Depp. With that said, Amber Heard and her legal team have chosen to do everything involving their case in court rather than rely on social media." I think this right here is rather telling. It's possible this source could actually be someone from Heard's camp attempting to do damage control. This little bit definitely leads me to believe that there is some bias towards Heard. And also even that first comment where they say that Warner Brothers doesn't care about the allegations made about Heard, nor do they have interest in social media. I think that is complete hogwash. These huge media companies definitely care about social media. Just look at with Deadpool. We had that huge, that's how we got Deadpool made, with that leaked footage and then the fan reaction. That's how that happened. Look at Sonic. We got the character changed. These companies do care about social media. The fact that this source is saying they don't care, that's a blatant lie. So I'm highly skeptical of this source based off of this information. It definitely leads me to believe that they are biased towards Heard. It could even be part of her camp. Plus, the claim that Heard isn't relying on social media is just pure bogus. Heard's lawyers have made statements to the press. We've covered these statements, and so have countless other websites and media outlets. To imagine that these statements wouldn't be spread to social media is complete hogwash. The whole reason for the lawsuit in the first place is Heard's op-ed in the Washington Post that was spread all across social media. To say Heard is just fighting in court is a tall tale too tall for me. And I don't really buy this rumor. We haven't even really gotten an update on Aquaman 2. The last real bit of news I saw was Patrick Wilson trying to get Vera Farmiga to join the film. And before that, Jason Momoa was joking about delaying the film because he was protesting the telescope construction down in Hawaii. The film is slated to release in December of 2022. That's over 2 years away, and it gives Warner Brothers and its parent company AT&T plenty of time to come to a decision. It also gives them time to see how everything plays out. I don't see them making a decision with so much time left to see how things can play out. We're seeing this with other companies. They wait to find out what happens as a result of these lawsuits. Whether or not they're found guilty or innocent, and then they make those decisions. I think that Warner Brothers is going to play, and AT&T are going to play that same game. They're going to wait and see how everything unfolds, and then kind of show their cards and make their decision. I don't think that they're probably discussing a decision. I don't think that they've come to a decision yet, because they are going to wait and see how this all plays out, whether Depp wins or if Heard wins the lawsuit. So that's kind of where I stand. I'm highly skeptical of this source, and I don't think that AT&T or Warner Brothers have really come to a decision yet, especially since Aquaman 2 is really far away. And I think they might. There's also they're probably discussing other options that they could do. They could diminish her role. Obviously, we're still 2 years away. They can obviously be changes to script. We saw Taika Waititi. He did an interview. I don't know if it was Vanity Fair or Variety, one of those websites, where he was talking about them making significant story and character changes in Thor Ragnarok, like on set. So you can see them diminishing there's plenty of time for them to either diminish her role if they want to do that, or potentially delay the film to see what happens with the sequel if they want to keep her on board. And obviously, we've already seen in the MCU that you can recast these characters and it doesn't really affect the end game. We saw that with War Machine. We saw that with Hulk. It happens all the time. So that's not out of the realm of possibility either. But I want to know what y'all make of this rumor. Do you think Heard will reprise her role as Mera in Aquaman 2? What do you make of the credibility of the source? Let me know in the comments. My name is John Trent, and you've been watching Bounty in the Comics. Until next time.